On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if Lex Luthor looks good with hair on the finale of Harley Quinn, if New York turns their back on their friendly neighborhood Spider-Man after SHE.E.O comes to town, and if the boys ever leave the show to us again after we cover this week's episode of Ahsoka. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only show on the internet that reviews every single live-action television show based on a comic book, as well as some of the animated ones. Animated, live-action. Are those the two? There's another word. Oh, yeah. We don't got to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm bitter about it, so we don't got to talk about it. I have my good friend here, Katelynn, in the studio.
What up? It's the ghost of Katelynn.
She's been gone a couple weeks, and this is the only way we could get her in and ghost form. Something terrible happened while we were away.
I have died, but I am back here, and I am also slightly Bane.
Just eating spaghetti on the corner.
I have come from Italy, where we all die.
Would you like to share with us how you died?
It was a lot of booze.
Okay. Okay.
Alcoholism is real.
Katelynn, there's a good energy in the studio today, and I guess it's because of your ghost presence, but also I feel like we're a bit more free today. Do you get that feeling as well?
I do. I do not sense any testicles.
I was going to question if we're getting Ghost Katelynn the whole time, but I'm glad I didn't before I got testicles in that voice. But are we going to get Ghost Katelynn this whole time, or can we channel you through?
We'll see.
No
promises.
We almost got Goat Katelynn for a brief second. But yes, there are no testicles in the building today, so we're living it up here.
We've cut them off.
We got them all off. They're in jars in the studio. It's our new decoration. And in honor of there being no testicles, we had to bring in our good friend Books from the old podcast Unnatural 20s.
Hey, what's up? I'm really proud to have replaced testicles.
Yeah, you knew the only void that you could fill was when there's no testicles, you gotta call in Books.
Yeah, it's my place. It's my home. As long as the testicles have been ridden, I am ready.
We won't even name the testicles. Like
they tend to shrivel up right around anyway. So.
No, Books, the people might know you from Movie of the Year, where you are brought on specifically to, I would say, wreck the boys' lives.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm most known for. Anything they love, I tend to destroy.
Yeah. And just keeping that true over here. I believe you said before when we were like, hey, do you want to come on? There's no testicles. So the space is open. And you were like, absolutely. I want to destroy everything they built and everything they love.
Yeah, that's my whole mission here. I'm here to fuck shit up and just go about and ruin any legacy successes they might have had. It ends today.
And I feel like around the 500th episode is the perfect time to do it.
It is, yeah. They've built something. They have like steady listeners and just warning you now, not going to have that anymore.
She's coming in to crush.
So yeah, as we approach the 500, we figured let's just burn this to the ground. And that is the episode we're going to do this on. Specifically, guys, I'm going to tell you a secret, and I got to whisper it to you guys only because it's going to make the guys furious. More furious when they didn't have their testicles. We're going to cover Ahsoka on the show today.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yes.
And why are we covering Ahsoka, Cassie?
We're going to cover Ahsoka because these motherfuckers, these motherfucking testicles, did not want us to cover it because they said it's not based on a comic book. It came, like, the comic books came from the TV show. So therefore it doesn't count. And I would just like to say, fuck them.
Also,
Bullshit.
they're making us quote unquote watch. They're making us watch because they wanted to watch One Piece, which is not even based on a comic book. It is manga, which I understand it's a book thing, but it's not a
the
comic
same.
book.
But it's
Ahsoka's
not
actually
what we
in a
do.
comic.
It's a comic,
It's a
motherfuckers.
fucking comic.
It's comic book based, and we're gonna cover it because burn it to the ground.
Burn it to the ground, and they're not fucking here.
You
Yeah.
can't fucking shackle us.
There's a powerful energy in the studio today. We got Ghost Caitlin, we got books, and yeah, like I said, we'll be covering Ahsoka. We'll also be covering the premiere of The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon. Everyone, get hyped for that one. Of course, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, but before we get to all of that, let's go to the premiere. Not the premiere, you guys. What's the end of this show?
Finale.
The finale. It's the finale of Harley Quinn. Let's go.
On the season 4 finale of Harley Quinn, after deciding that she can't be on the Bat Squad anymore, Harley tries to find the best way to kill Joker after he paralyzes Babs, but suffers from killer's block. Meanwhile, Ivy and Harley crash Lex's birthday party on the moon. Together, they decide that they're not fully good or evil. With the help of Babs' hacking skills, they use Lex's lasers to take down the companies of the people who wronged them. In the end, the Cobb Squad adds 2 members, Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, and Babs, aka Batgirl, to form the Gotham City Sirens, and their first mission is to find out who stole Nightwing's corpse. Taste buds, I ask you this: did this feel like a good wrap up of the season, and are you excited and hopeful for them to renew season 5?
It felt like a good wrap up because we finally have like Harley and Poison Ivy on the same page again, which feels so good. This is what's been missing for me, like them just always separate from each other this whole season or on different levels and not able to fully connect. Like now we got them as a team again in this in-between space, and I'm so fucking excited.
I feel like allowing Harley to explore her chaotic neutrality too is going to open up for a lot of interesting plot lines. Like trying to have her on one extreme or the other just isn't as compelling in some ways as this balancing act of.
Yeah, and I feel like that this whole season showed like it's not good when Harley's all good. It's boring. And then when Ivy's all bad, she's really not bad anyway. She's just really trying to like give her plants the best life.
Yeah,
She wants to save the earth while
She's trying to like save the earth.
she's honestly just trying to feed her little babies, and that's all she wants.
She just wants a fucking good ass life for her plants. And you know, how can we be mad at that? She may like murder a couple of people in the way.
But she'll
so-
make them drink the oil from their own oil rig. I mean, it's a brilliant karmic justice.
It's fun because like she's not wrong. You kind of root for her, and you're just like, yeah, fuck it up, make them do it.
Yeah. So I think this one was a really good one to like finally get rid of. Okay, finally we can have Harley and Ivy, and they don't have to be fully good or fully evil. They can be their own little square.
And we know who the new crew is. We got our not birds of prey, our sirens of
This Gotham City Sirens.
City Sirens, which sounds like a bad derby crew, but I'm here for
It
them.
sounds like a strip club, like a strip crew,
Yes.
like a burlesque group is what I was thinking.
I could see that too, yeah. Which is fitting. That's the vibe
Yeah.
I want that they
But
will bring.
the burlesque crew that lures men to their death, which
Yeah.
is also just brilliant.
The Sirens part really hit really well.
They're gonna do it.
Because of course Babs had to suggest the Birds of Prey, which I think is what it would be
It was-
canonically.
yeah.
But
They were like,
This is
nah.
better.
this episode was very fun. I also loved seeing the drained Superman in Lex's little like
It made him so messed up.
kryptonite cave.
It made him so messed up. I swear, every time we went back to him, like there was another rib showing.
Because
Or-
Lex had drained everything from him in this little kryptonite jail
Yeah.
on the moon, and Harley wasn't going to set him free.
She needs to be neutral. That
She
would be
needs
a
to
good deed.
Yeah. Be too good to save fucking dying as Superman.
There's like this whole stake of like he's giving her like, hey, he's got superpowers now. He's basically unstoppable. You gotta let me free. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh shit, and just walks out.
I kind of felt bad for him, but it was very Harley Quinn of that, like how that all went down.
And moments before we see her with Joker on a leash too. It's a
Yeah.
all good vibe.
Guys, the amount of men on leashes in this episode.
Probably so much joy.
I know we're not supposed to like the business group that Ivy's a part of because
Yeah.
they're all shitty, but the way that they just like threw their husbands off to the side
Yeah.
and they won me over with them was when they were celebrating. They were like cheers to Ivy for taking down Lex, your first takedown. Now throw rotting fruit at these businessmen.
Yes.
These sad businessmen. I was like, God damn it. I would like to be a part of this.
Feels like a very good episode to watch when there's a testicle free.
Yeah, yes.
This one's for the women.
This episode was very fun. It was very good. It was like all of my favorite things minus Bane.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that can make it better.
They knew they still needed to bring in Clayface because Clayface does a little hologram performance for Lex Luthor for his birthday. And we do, honestly, the way they brought in Lex of super powered up.
With Superman's hair.
Yes, with Superman's hair. The most important fact is that he did bring over his hair to him. I'm trying to remember what they call him. Is it super... It's like Superman Lex or something like that. But he's in like a full suit. He's got hair. And he just kind of floats around with a chihuahua. And that's about all he does with his powers. Like, he's got lasers to get rid of the vines. And he has a chihuahua.
Yep.
But he's just as powerful as Superman.
God, so good.
And we get to see... At first, Ivy is like, I'm going to take down Lex at his party. I'm going to humiliate him. But it doesn't go well for him. So then they decide...
Also, because the women's group decides, like, they want to go to Lex's party even after Ivy had just taken him down.
Yeah.
Like, they basically turn their back on Ivy.
Yeah, instantly.
So she's like, fuck these girls, too.
Yeah, she was like, I'm here to wreck shit up. Which instantly, fun vibe to go into a party with. When you have Ivy and Harley Quinn and they're like, we're literally going to fuck shit up. I have Joker on a leash. Let's go. Also Joker's there for reasons that are unknown.
Well, because
Harley hasn't decided how to kill him yet.
Yes, Harley has to kill him, but hasn't decided how.
So much better than killing him. Parading him around tied up on a leash.
Oh,
fate worse than death. It's beautiful.
And, I'm backtracking here, but at the very beginning we see Harley attacking his family. And I remember the first time when Joker announced to his family that he was going back to being evil, and they like rejoiced in it. We're like, hell yeah, here's a list of people to kill.
Yeah.
And we were like, are they also evil or are they just like down? Confirmed they're fucking monsters.
yeah.
Those kids came out with weapons. I was like, oh fuck. Beautiful.
It's good shit. But yeah, so he's getting paraded around because she doesn't know how to kill him. And it's just... He ends up being a gift for Gordon at the end,
which is great because Joker just shot his daughter and made her paralyzed. And who's better and more unhinged to take care of Joker than Gordon? And who is not in the police station anymore, so like he has no civil duty to do this properly.
Also, just I know Gordon. The guys also love Gordon, but there's just. He's the perfect character, the perfect portrayal of Gordon. Every time, whatever he says that comes out of his mouth is perfect every time.
It's perfectly disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just exactly what you would expect.
From a police captain. At the very end, we do get the reveal that Nightwing's body is missing from his perfectly...
his custom made
booty.
perfectly carved and sculpted coffin. Yeah, he's been resurrected, and they did not take that perfect booty with them.
I love that they were offended. They were like, that was expensive. Like, how dare they just abandon this like it's trash?
Yep. Which, fair. If you're going to steal it, you might as well take this custom...
Even if you didn't know it was expensive, too, like, it's a booty. You got to take it.
That's an imprint of the ass.
It's a piece of art,
yes.
Some would say.
He was buried face down, ass up because of this.
I do wish we could have seen them bring it up just because, like, to lift it off and then have to carry him up as he's ass up.
Yeah.
It's very good.
But we do see him get thrown into a vat of, like,
green goo.
Green
it's
goo.
always green goo.
Yeah.
There was, like, a name of, like, the renewal, like, spa or something like that.
Yeah, it's one of the women who were in the group.
The women's business group. Yeah. Because Harley and Ivy blew up their whole business.
Yep.
Literally blew up their whole business. So they're upset. So, of course, they take Nightwing's corpse. They throw him in this, like, Lazarus pit. Mm-hmm. So it brings him back to life. And when Nightwing comes back to life, he comes back, where the fuck is Harley Quinn? Which... I got the total vibes that this is like the Nightwing from the Titans TV show.
He definitely has more of that.
Like, I'm feeling like they're going to try to play off that.
Like, this Nightwing will say, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck
and
Batman.
I love it. And I love that they're playing with that. And I hope everyone got that.
I didn't know, because I've jumped in and out of this season. I didn't know Batman was just a DJ in jail.
Yes! Oh my god. No, Batman. Okay, so Batman is quote unquote, I think, dead. And so Bruce Wayne decided to go to prison. And so at the very beginning, Alfred was like, I'm going to do all these crimes so I can go and be with Bruce. And so he worked this whole time to do like all these enough crimes to get in federal prison.
In the worst prison around.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
the top level threats are.
And Bruce has just been DJing the whole time. and just fucking living his life. It's been great. We've been just going back and forth seeing him. And then finally we have the reunion of Alfred making it to the same prison that Bruce Wayne is. But now Bruce is
right
free.
As he's getting out.
Yeah. And Alfred's like, fuck.
And Bruce is literally like, I get my own door. I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah, don't worry. I've got my own ride. I'll see you at home.
The way, like, for me, perfect discovery. I was so glad to come in on this episode because as I see him DJing in jail.
Yep.
I was so confused at first because I was like, that's a jumpsuit, but you're also partying it up. All right, this is a vibe.
And he just looks out the window as Harley and Ivy are blowing up everything. And he's like, the world needs Batman again. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's perfect. The way this show does everything is so good. But yes, back to Nightwing. He's gonna be when they like, because it's what's the name of the kid? Grayson? Dick Grayson?
Dick Grayson. Yeah. Dick
mom-
Grayson is Nightwing. The tiny boy is someone else.
The tiny little shithead.
The tiny shithead, and that's his mom.
Yeah.
The woman's business person is his mom.
And she was like, when your friend comes back, he's not going to be the same. And I thought they were going to take the opportunity to say like show his ass first, and something was going to be wrong with his ass.
He's going to be concave.
Oh, it's a flat ass.
But I mean, they can't take that gift from us. So I guess that booty, it better still be intact. We can't confirm.
But we could have gotten a great workout montage of him trying to get his booty back.
I'm sure that they'll still give that to us.
Listen, they're not riding yet because they can't. So when they're back to riding, everyone remember this: concave ass, and he has to earn it back.
It's like the pillars that Hercules had to go through. This is Nightwing's version.
Just needs to be able to do so many squats.
But yeah, we end right on there, which I think is like the perfect cliffhanger. It lets you know what they're going to be dealing with. We got the group, we've got them back together. I think it was a perfect wrap up for a season.
It makes me excited for the next season because we have finally a fun girl group that's just here to fuck up the world and play in that gray space. Mm-hmm. And they don't have to be confined to good or evil. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, the group that's together, I think, is going to be real fun together.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we still got to get our usuals. We'll still have Clayface and everyone back. So I'm very excited for the next season.
And Bane. I hope Bane gets some fucking ass or something, He really wanted Nora, and that didn't happen. So I'm hoping we'll continue that next season.
They gave him his whole one episode this time, so I have full faith that they will always hopefully give him his one episode to just check in with Bane and see what's going on with that guy.
See how sad he is.
Books, I didn't prepare you for this, so it's okay if you don't have this. I'm gonna go to moments of the week. Caitlin, do you got a moment of the week?
My moment of the week is it's gotta be at the very end when they're talking about the name of the group. We have to come up with a cool name of the group, and it's the Cobb Squad. I love the Cobb Squad is what Ivy said. And then they just keep going around, and then the Gotham City Sirens just hit so hard, and the fact that Babs brings up Birds of Prey, and I'm like, oh, it's obviously going to be Birds of Prey. And the show is like, fuck that shit. And it's like, no, we're staying Gotham City Sirens.
And
I love that.
Just the wildest name. I'm so proud of them.
God, it's so good.
Do you have a moment that stood out to you, Books? Totally good if you don't.
I just have one line that I really enjoyed, and it's not even a moment, but it is the fight scene between Lex and Ivy, and it's just when Lex is doing his villain monologue, but instead of talking about how great he is, he just says, I get more of a workout digesting dairy. And I really loved it, because I feel like that resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of this podcast, you would say.
Yeah, so I just felt like that needed to be touched on. Most villain monologues are like how great they are, their evil plans, and he was like, I get more of a workout digesting dairy, announcing to the world that I got gut issues.
Which, I mean, yes, it is a workout, and also, again, you only used lasers, and I think you have more powers.
Yeah.
My moment of the week is when Harley, they're blowing up. The moon is going to explode. We didn't talk about, like, they shoot off all the lasers, and they're shooting off too many lasers, so the moon explodes, of course.
It cracks in half.
Yeah.
It cracks straight up in half. But before the whole place blows up, Harley does go back to get our shriveled up skeleton Superman.
Yeah.
And as, like, she gets to walk out, like, the place exploding, doors opening, full explosion with Superman in her arms. Like, just such a good moment. Harley Quinn, if you haven't watched it, is on Max, so go ahead and catch up with us if you haven't. That is all the time I have for Harley Quinn, but Katelynn, I know you have some website you were murmuring about. It was in your
Yes.
sleep, so I don't know if it's still with you fully, but if you have anything you remember about this website, I'm going to let you talk about it right now.
Yeah, it's all about rainbows, actually, and butterflies and compromise.
Okay. Okay.
And it's all 3 in 1. And it's called Rainbows Compromise. It's called Maroon 5, actually.
It's called Maroon 5.
Yeah.
Now, I'm intrigued. When you went to get the handle, what's the website?
Maroon5.com.
You were able to get that, huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't already taken?
Nope.
How do you spell it?
Maroon. Sorry, I'm supposed to give you letters.
Nope. No, that's perfect. I've got it. I'm typing it in.
And then 5.
Good. Actually, I see it here. I see you did get the domain. And it's rainbows, butterflies, and compromise.
Yep.
I didn't think you could get compromise to like come across via like HTML.
Yep.
But it's kind of there. It's getting there.
Yeah, it's doing really good. I do need some help though putting together all this stuff because Rainbows Compromise. I mean, I don't remember all the words I said.
Sunrise.
Yeah, all these words.
Visualize.
Visualize.
These are all here. The makings are there.
Yeah.
And I could see that it's like on its way to being a beautiful website that could possibly save humanity with these lyrics.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not lyrics, these ideas.
Thank you.
Being put together here.
It's like poetry.
It's like poetry, and I want to get it tattooed on my body next to a giant tiger, I would think. But this website, I think we can get there if I give you to my friends, cybersprout.net. They can make that compromise come to life through HTML. They offer premium hosting that's specifically built for WordPress. They handle security, maintenance, backups, speed optimization, which I mean, this one's going to save the world. It's going to need all of that. They're going to work hand in hand with you because they also want to save the world. That's cybersprout.net, your partner for a digital world. Coming up next, it's the pull list. We are back for the pull list where we talk about all the other shows we watched this week. First show starting it off is The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon.
On the season premiere of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon arrives in France and sets off a violent chain of events that inevitably puts a young boy at the heart of a growing religious movement in danger. Meanwhile, Daryl agrees to help shepherd the boy to safety in exchange for help returning to America. Taste buds, ask you this. If you were a young French boy, what tasty treat would you get from the candy store?
I was focused on baguette because, France. I'm cultured.
Yeah.
But then you said candy store, and I can't think of a single French thing. What the fuck do the French candy?
Aren't they known for chocolate? Yeah.
Oh, chocolate. Chocolate. This is a chocolate, of course. I will get a chocolate.
You can get a chocolate. You can get a
like
eclair.
a truffle or something.
Ooh, truffle.
Wait, do children like truffles, or are they too fancy for the children?
I like truffles as a child.
What type of French boy are you, Cassie?
Are you a street urchin or?
Honestly, if I pictured myself as a little French boy, I would put myself as a street urchin in France and not the fancy ones eating.
I'm like fucking Eloise. Like, I'm up in a high tower.
I eat chocolate covered crickets.
Was Madeline an orphan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But she lived in a house.
but she was a bad and bougie orphan. Can I do that style?
I mean, I think she was
Was
like
she
B
bad
or
and
something.
bougie? She like lived with like 12 other girls, and
Yeah.
they like
yeah,
slept in
but
one
they
room.
all like
In
the
an
house,
orphanage.
Yeah, but the house looked pretty lit. Like it was a
I
pretty.
think it was
good-
just old.
It was just like the Frenchness of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fancy.
Well, it had to be fancy though, because they got rich new neighbors with the spoiled boy, right?
Yeah.
So it had to be nice.
and the little outfits, like that's not a poor kid outfit.
Yeah.
That's like a fancy kid outfit. Like she
I just
eats.
remember they were all really sad because they were orphans, so I figured it must have sucked.
I mean, it probably does. Like that is a bummer. They do got that going for them, but they also got these little baller outfits.
Yeah, and they went to like the fair.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, they were
You
rich.
can't be sad if you've gone to the fair once.
they fucking lived it up. You know what? escalate myself to street urchin to Madeline orphan.
So you
There
are
you
an
go.
orphan now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, good.
I think urchins are also probably orphans.
Probably. Or abandoned at the very least.
All I know is urchins are in the sea. So, and France is not underwater currently. So I am confused.
I am confused. I know we haven't talked about Daryl Dixon, but you threw a lot at us on that.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
There's
When
a cult religion. I'm so lost.
Yeah, he's in France.
like why'd they put him in France?
That's all I had to make sure that this was correct, that he was indeed in France, because I was like, what the fuck? The Walking Dead is based in America.
But also, Daryl Dixon represents Daryl
Like,
Dixon in France.
He Daryl Dixon. Like, I couldn't even say his name without going
I don't
Daryl
think he'd
Dixon.
get past customs. He'd be like,
Yeah.
no, we don't want your shit over here.
Oh, they ain't got customs, they got zombies.
like nobody is gonna be down.
What do you think the zombies are like in France?
Fuck.
They, oh,
Just like I imagine they don't even attack. They're just smoking cigarettes like crisscross.
Sitting
like,
out in like cafes. Just
yeah, like they just don't even go after people. They're just like American.
American scum.
We're good at accents. Have we angered enough people with this segment? But also, why is Daryl going to a little boy, for help to like get
No,
me
he's not.
back to America?
This boy is like, he is getting taken over by some religious movement. And he's in
because the
danger.
zombies aren't enough. We
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, now let's bring God into this.
So there's this religious movement, and then Daryl's like, I'm gonna save this boy.
Yeah, he's gonna save the boy, but isn't he also like, boy, help me get to America? Like this.
Well, he's trying to help this boy, and I am assuming he's trying to save it, and someone else is like, we want this boy saved, and those people are, he's like, I want, in exchange to help get this little French boy, you get me home to America. Which, how the fuck did you get to France
How
in the
did you
first place?
end up there?
Especially if you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so confused.
The testicles did say that they were very interested in the show and watching it. Actually,
What, they're watching it?
they wanted to get us to watch it because they wanted it watched.
Sure.
Suck my dick.
Yeah, suck my dick.
This is
testicles.
actually way more fun. Getting an unhinged description and just wondering what the fuck the show looked like is
This is
way more
absolutely
fun.
the way to do it. Yeah. I will not. We'll see. Hopefully they will. Because I think they might be on the train of, the people are saying it's back. The reports are in the Walking Dead is back. It's good now, and I think they might be dumb enough to fall for it and give it a chance.
Yep.
So we'll check in with them. If you do want to watch it with them, it's Sundays on AMC. Our next show is One Piece. On the 4th episode of One Piece, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami fight their way through Kaya's mansion, which has now become a prison. Luffy finally gets the ship of his dream, and Garp closes in. On episode 5, the gang are tested in their ability to fight together in the high seas. They arrive at Barati, a floating restaurant, where they encounter Sanji, a young chef with a love of fine dining. A duel in the docks shocks the group. Taste Buds, I ask you, what do you think they eat on pirate ships?
Ooh, aside from rats and scabies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bunch of scabies. A full plate of scabies. is
Never
what they're-
any oranges.
Never
Because
oranges.
No oranges, yeah.
You never get oranges. But like, they don't have, like, what can you bring on a ship?
Sandwiches.
But the meatsies.
You gotta bring like just bread and cheese. Like the cheese that can like not be
like
refrigerated.
that
think-
nasty cheese.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
nasty, yeah.
I don't know what world this One Piece is, but I'm sure that they have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
In this world, they could have whatever the
What's
fuck
the
they
kid's
want.
name?
Luffy?
Luffy seems like he just eats the nastiest PB&Js. Like he just seems like that kid that's got sticky PB&J hands all the time. So I
What
can
if they
believe that.
just ate straight potatoes?
I guess
Raw?
no, potatoes is probably like a
Potatoes,
pretty good answer.
And they're gonna be like the potatoes that have like grown a lot of like
yeah, like
Those
spores and shit.
yeah,
like the
little vines coming out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like when they're like, that's a good potato.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Luffy is the kid who makes quote unquote PB&Js out of mud and then eats that.
I have a feeling they
that's
get
fair.
bread and then put a potato in the middle of it, and that's their sandwich.
Fuck yeah, honestly, would eat it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on a ship, man.
Let's be pirates, guys. Let's do it. One Piece is on Netflix. I'm sure you've seen it there. Go ahead and give it a shot if you haven't already. Our final show of the week. It's happening. We're doing it. Ahsoka.
On episode 5 of Ahsoka, we were brought the epic reunion between Master and Padawan when Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker were able to fight each other in another realm. We see the journey of the two of them take when Ahsoka watches her master go from fun-loving friend to a Sith Lord, Darth Vader. And now Anakin must help her finish her training. Of course, we get to see Hayden Christensen pick back up his saber and reprise his role as our favorite saber-wielding baddie, which, you know, gets some people going. Taste Buds, I ask you this. Without watching the Clone Wars TV show, did this episode still hit as all the fills that it tried to?
I mean, they did good at filling in that gap for us of literally taking us to the Clone Wars. Like, they threw us in the middle of a battle, and, like, I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. I don't remember this. And then we get little her, like, this is the Clone Wars. And I was like, God, thank you. Bless you, child. I love you. And we just get to see...
They held our fucking hand.
They were like, here, little babies.
They knew their audience. They were like, no, they need help.
These ones are the ones that's checking in on the major things. Like, they're not coming in. We're going to help them. But I mean, we got to see how it affected her, how like leading people into like their death essentially affected her. And we got to see rad little, different AT-ATs, like big boy AT-ATs.
Oh my God.
Fat ones.
Okay. So I watched this episode twice because I am a whore for this shit.
Yeah.
And the AT-ATs were like dogs because they had shorter legs.
Stubby.
And they were like a little bit wider.
Yeah.
And I never knew I needed something like this in my life until I saw them myself.
Such a small part of the thing that was specifically made for us, I believe.
Yes.
There's a group of us who love the AT-ATs, and they were like, you know what we need to do to make them better? Stubby and bigger.
Stubby and
Honestly, strategic though. Less tip over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how AT-ATs go down.
They saw the flaw and they were like, you know what? Bring them to the ground.
Yep.
Wiener dogs don't fall over as much, so
They just get back issues.
And when they do, they're kind of just already there. They pop
Yeah.
right back up, so it's all good. Perfect little beings we got to see glimpses of. So I think they did good at like hitting all the emotions, and they made it. They gave it the Star Wars feel. It's like real smoky and everything.
Oh, so yeah, we're in this other realm. The realm between realms is where we're at. Because Ahsoka has lost a battle, and she is either going to die or live, and that's what Anakin tells her. So this whole time he's like, I'm going to finish your training so you can choose whether you want to live or die. And she's like, I'm not going to fight you, kind of thing. And he's like, if you don't fight, then you die. And it's like, ooh. And this whole episode we get to see Anakin going from so fun loving and so like happy master, like I'm here to teach you, and you see him slowly turning evil. And there's one moment where he says like I am not what I ended up to be, or like I forget the exact wording, but he's like, I'm not all what I ended up as. Like, I am more than that. And if you didn't learn that, then you learned nothing here. And I was like, oh my God. Anakin.
Yeah, it was super cool because when we first meet him, it's like your boy Anakin.
Yeah,
like,
it's your boy.
It's just
it's your
boy.
Mr. Studio Girl boy. Like, this is my friend who got married in Lake Como. Like,
exactly who I want to be greeted on when I'm in between realms thinking I might die. I would love to be greeted by him.
Yeah.
And he slowly just like starts to be like, I will fucking murder you.
Yeah. And then they have to do the most epic fucking battle between Ahsoka and Anakin on like this like plain area, and which ends up he's like, oh, you think what's going on? You think you can destroy me? He destroys the whole plane and then kicks her back into like old memories.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't know where we're going, but Star Wars is magical and fun, and I love this.
It was cool because you get her battling the whole time to essentially prove that, like, you know, there's a way to exist, like, in between. Like, not Jedi, not full good, but not fucking murder all the Padawans.
Yeah.
Like, I am on my own path, and I'll prove it to you. So we get to see her just constantly, like, coming back at him. And then the way she comes back, when she finally, like, quote-unquote defeats him or whatever and comes back into the real world, and she's in all white in the most swagged out outfit. Guys, so fucking rad, that outfit.
God, okay. I'm a big, huge Hayden Christensen fan. Like, I have been since the beginning. I've always been a prequels lover, and the testicles really hate me for that.
The people need to know this. I
genuinely love Hayden Christensen and his portrayal of Anakin, and I always have. And I'm here to say I'm so glad that everyone else has joined back on this boat, and we are together in loving Hayden Christensen in the way that he fucking throws around this lightsaber like it's like his like favorite thing ever.
He honestly, his style, like it just.
I
brings
love
something
his
back to
style.
it. Just having him back on the screen fighting again with a saber gets you hyped. It really does.
And he has not stopped training his because he had to do so much training for the prequels to be able to wield the saber the way he does. Just for fun, he has his lightsabers and he plays with them like with his kids, and like he makes sure he can keep up his training. And that is like the most like I love that so
Committed
much.
to the craft.
And I was reading a bunch like about the different styles that Ahsoka like uses like versus his, and this is the first time I guess we've seen two different like saber styles go head to head like this, because there's two different Japanese fighting techniques. I'm not one to talk about what they are. But I know they're two different ones, and this is the first time that we've seen these two type of techniques come together and actually fight. So that's another cool little tidbit, and I loved it.
It made it genuinely for a cool fight in a place where it seems like it could be limited, because they're literally on like a walking path, essentially, is what they're like fighting on.
Yeah.
But yeah, his fighting style is like aggressive and a lot of like twirling about. Always fun.
Yes.
But then he throws in these little shoves, and that's where you're just like, there's that little bitch in you that I appreciate.
He does so well at pulling the Anakin character into his fighting style.
Yeah.
And I love it. But yes, okay, you did get to the part where we see Ahsoka coming out in white. We get a couple different costume changes for Ahsoka. Which one is white, and we also get bald Ahsoka.
Confirmed. This one's for Ryan. Confirmed. Ryan headband.
She has a headband, and her head is orange, and then her
it
head
kind of blends. It blends
her
into
Leiku. The way it's blended, you get all the answers in this episode.
The Leiku is attached to head with a blend motion, and it's a headband that separates, and she can move them out like accessories.
Yes, she does take off her headband and everything. So we get all the answers when it comes to that for Ryan. There you go.
You're welcome. We put in the work.
We did the work to make sure.
And he didn't want you to.
He didn't want us to
he
know
would
this.
have missed out on all this knowledge.
And now we better get a thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for covering this. You're welcome, fucking Ryan. You're fucking welcome. But yeah, we get to see that. We get to see her headpiece now, or her tiara. It's missing like the stones within it too. So whatever happened when she was fighting with Anakin down under the water, because she had fallen into the water, that's where the realm between realms was, and then little Force Jedi boy helped find her, along with Chopper, helped find her in the water. Where what's her name? Hera was able to like pick her up out of the water.
And then they go on a mission to meet up with the space whales. Yeah, they're space whales.
They're fucking space whales. And I feel like this could be like cheesy, cheap, anything, but this felt so Star Wars.
Yeah,
it felt like the perfect like mystical, but also like, what are you doing?
Dumb. Like in the way where you're just like, Star Wars, you're fucking dumb, and I love it.
And I love this shit.
Because one, they are whales. They're in space. But the back ends of them, octopus.
Yep.
Also, they can travel anywhere in space. And McKenna, you want to know how they do that?
Do they like push the little tentacles like an octopus would?
They do. And how would you then make that even more extra and more Star Wars? Would it be
twirl them or something?
They can fucking hyperdrive.
I was going to say, did it like a little propeller style or?
Nope.
It just charges up like in a ship.
Holy fucking shit, beautiful.
And then they fucking fart and then into another fucking galaxy, McKenna. Another galaxy.
Light speed, but naturally animal thing.
Yeah. And this episode started because one of the other characters, Sabine, is going to find her old friend Ezra, and Ezra's in another galaxy, and the baddies have the star map, and the only star map to get there, and they have to travel between galaxies. The only way to do that is with an extreme hyperdrive or with these fucking space whales.
Or these space whales.
And Ahsoka figures it out, like, we can use these space whales, and even though she cannot communicate with them, she trusts the Force in order to like ride inside.
I was going to say, do they go in? Is it Jonah style?
Full Jonah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
They did a Jonah.
And it was so great. She got in the mouth, and And then she's with a robot, and he's like, how do you know we're going to the right place? And she's like, I don't.
So it's not a full Dory moment. She doesn't speak whale.
No.
But
Doesn't
it's
speak whale.
It's
It's
just-
heart to heart with the whale.
And the joy that Ahsoka like has just talking to these whales, like not even like actually communicating, but like staring at him, like feeling the
Connecting.
intention, connecting. Like I was like, this is so good.
This is the dumb Star Wars shit, and I'm here for it. Like, literally, this episode ended, and we were just like, Star Wars is back.
Yeah, Star Wars
I
is
hate
so
to say
good.
it, because we always use it with The Walking Dead, but it's fucking back. It's dumb again, and I love it.
I mean, I've always been
It's
here.
for the
but
fans.
Andor's the only one where I really didn't understand. That's the one that the testicles really liked. So.
Yeah. Probably because it's the least dumb one.
There's no lightsabers in that one, and
There's
I'm like,
no-
I like the dumb shit like that. I like the space whales
The zoom
farting
zooms
into
of
different
fighting,
galaxies.
All right, we've officially done it. We've covered Ahsoka. I'm gonna get your moment of the week though, Caitlin.
Basically, this whole fucking episode. This also played in theaters, specific theaters.
Shit.
But I couldn't get any tickets. I tried to get tickets.
Damn.
It was so sad because there's only 10 theaters around the world that played it.
What the
One was in LA, but they sold out so quick.
damn it.
Yeah. Anyways, my moment of the week was not getting tickets. It was anything basically with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Him fighting and his style. The fight between the first fight between him and Ahsoka is probably the moment of the week where
Yeah.
just seeing him just fucking come at her, and then her with their double sabers just fucking getting it. I'm like,
So
fuck
good.
yeah, the show's so good.
We also get to see all of her sabers, all of the colors and everything.
Oh my
she goes
god!
through.
Okay, yes, because we get to see the beginning of her sabers when she's in the Clone Wars, and then we see her new sabers. All of them.
All of
get to see
them. We get
everything.
them all.
All the colors.
Colors of the rainbow. My moment of the week is her coming out in that fucking white drip after dying and then talking to a whale.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking rad.
Yeah. So cool.
Ahsoka is Tuesdays on Disney Plus. You should watch it. We probably won't get to cover it again because the boys will be back. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Tell them if you want us to cover it more, if you want us to talk about space whales. That is it for the pull list. Let's go talk about Spider-Man. Welcome to SM-TAS, bitch, a mini show within a show where we take an in-depth, episode-by-episode look at Fox's seminal and underrated early morning cartoon from the mid-90s, Spider-Man. This week we watched episode 4, The Menace of Mysterio, and when we start in, guys, I got hyped because we are in a museum and somebody is rummaging around. If it's going to be a good episode, it will be a good episode if we start off in a museum. There's just something always so fun about it.
Everything's breakable and there's security guards.
Yeah.
It's delightful.
Everything is possibly cursed.
Yeah.
Everything is possibly coming to life at night. Like, it's so fun.
That's exactly where my mind went. Probably because we were in the Egyptian area, and I've
Yeah.
seen that in the museum too many times. But yeah, we're in a museum, and there's about to be a fucking heist, and it's like, hell yeah, I love this.
And that person heisting, you guys, is Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. The betrayal. And he's really playing it up for the cameras. He's like, he knows where his angles are. He's like waving to the camera and stuff.
Blowing kisses.
Blowing kisses. He's bold. He also escalates it. Not only is he robbing from this area, he's also attacking the guards. Like, he straight up throws like an ancient pot at them or something.
Yeah.
Can we also talk about what he chose to rob? The loosest, crumbliest shit ever.
Yeah. Like, they showed so many rad things on the intro. They were like, here's this ancient like text, this vase, this pyramid with a spider on it. I was like, rad, that's
Wow.
probably
Dope
something
as hell.
important. And he's like picking up like
Pearls.
pebbles. Like, he said, let me get these rocks. Let me attack these guards, wrap them up, throw a little thing at them, and then dip. So now he is on everybody's shit list because he's a bad guy now. He robs. We then cut to Parker. He's waking up, and Mary J is calling him while she's jazzercising.
She's jazzercising. She's like, you didn't just wake up, did you? And he's like, no. As we had just seen, his jeans are on his bed.
Yeah.
His room is a mess.
He's a sloppy bitch.
He's a fucking sloppy ass bitch, Peter Parker, with a
Sleeping on
NASA
twin
flag.
bed.
God damn,
like
Peter
a good
Parker.
grown person does. But yeah, she is full, like, she is bringing a lot. I don't know how to feel about this level that Mary J is bringing, and also just how intense she is.
She's in a new stretch every time she says a new sentence.
Yeah, like literally like almost every word, and she's changing dramatically. Like she's on her back like doing kicks and shit, and then is up and like fully like stretching. I'm like, God damn, Mary J.
It's like, yes, Mary Jane, you are working out. I get that. But also, should you be calling people while you work out? I feel like you should be out of breath.
Also, like, there's like, fix your schedule. There are different times to be doing this.
You could have
Call
called
after.
before or after. Yeah.
During your cool down.
Any time. But yeah, they set up a date for later, and
MJ is like, you are going to be asking me out on a date, basically. She
Yeah.
bosses Peter around because she's like, you're smart, you know all these things, I need help with my test or whatever. And she's like, and this is the point where you ask me out on a date.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, woman, yes, please.
But then he takes all the credit for it. He's like,
Yeah.
I was smoother on our
course he
blind
is.
date than I thought.
of course he does. This little bitch. But he goes down to get breakfast from Aunt May because, I mean, that's the type of man we're
Man-child.
dealing with here.
Jesus, that I don't know why that triggered me so hard. But
I got
seeing-
triggered when
I
she
do.
was doing the dishes afterwards. It made me even more angry that he shoved it all in his face and then tossed her the plate.
Say, deal with this. I have pictures to take.
Aunt May makes breakfast. He doesn't say thank you or anything.
Nothing.
He just
Dips.
eats it, throws it back at her, and he's like, "Oh, watch out for that menace Spider-Man."
Yeah. And he's like, I gotta go to work. And work we see is at the museum because Jameson, wherever there's Spider-Man, Jameson's gonna be there, and he's gonna be screaming about how he didn't get Spider-Man photos.
Yep.
So they're at the actual museum. Peter sees his chance to go snoop around and get some clues. He finds a piece of web, but gets caught by a detective who's like, "The fuck, are you stealing evidence?"
Yeah.
Like very casually, of just like, "Excuse me, bitch. I kind of need that." And they're just like, "Oh wait, you're the photographer. All right, cool, chill."
It's
and
fine.
I was like, "What?"
A photographer for a journal too, not like a photographer for the police.
Yeah.
Like just a photographer too.
It wasn't okay. I was upset because the crime scene wasn't really even roped off. Too
Yeah,
much.
no.
Not at all.
And they were doing a video, like a news video, right outside this unroped off.
The
Yeah.
news video area was more roped off than the actual crime scene. So
Yeah.
it's like, is this really on you, Miss Detective? Because anyone could come up in here and check this out.
Like there was about to be a field trip coming through it at the set, like
Any moment.
just 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Sticky children fingers everywhere.
What I love is that she recognizes him as the Spider-Man photographer, number one. Number two, he finds the web. He has to like hide that he's on the ceiling grabbing this web,
Yeah.
which is fun. That's always fun. And then when he gets it, and she is like, "Is that his web?" And she's like, "It's not Spider-Man's web. His dissolves within an hour." It's like, how would you know this,
Yeah.
photographer boy?
Because he's always there taking pictures when Spider-Man's in his action.
And he makes sure to stay there an hour later just to see how
But
the scene goes.
Listen, he's an extreme fanboy. He's collecting that web and he's going home and he's sad when he opens it up and it's all gone.
It's all gone.
He's
He's-
what the
he
fuck?
has it in a scrapbook and everything, and then there's just nothing
just
there.
there.
It's like a raccoon with candy floss.
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh,
I don't even know what candy floss is.
sorry. That's the Australian name for it. What is it actually called? It's the pink stuff.
Cotton candy?
Cotton candy. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Why did you pull off the Australian name for that?
I literally was picturing chicory dental floss.
I was worried it was like, you know how there's candy underwear for
No,
like sex
no.
things? I got real worried.
No. It's just cotton candy.
She's just wearing her candy thongs.
Oh, jeez.
Raccoons love them.
And the raccoons always be getting that shit.
I would not have any underwear if they were all cotton candy because I'd piss straight through them and they'd be gone.
And that's a fun fact about Caitlin.
Not about me. But raccoons, you know, when they get cotton candy and they put it in because they always wash their food, they put it in water and it just dissolves
never
and they're
seen
just
this.
sad.
No.
There's so many videos of just raccoons washing cotton candy.
I now know what I'm
Wow.
watching all night long.
I will be too sad though. Like it will genuinely upset me.
it
And I
makes
don't
me
even like
sad.
raccoons.
Well, the raccoons, and then they have such like, you know, animated faces. They're like, "Oh no, it's gone my
sound is
food."
They try to be sanitary and then
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Oh,
They're little
backfires.
sanitary creatures. I love them.
that's so sad.
When you get all your food from garbage, you have to have some standards.
Right?
A little bit. They know how to make it all good. Back to Little Bitch Parker though. So they're at the museum, and then all of a sudden, like, there's this big scene. There's like a sparkling tornado. And this is when we get to meet Mysterio, who is just that extra bitch. Makes a full entrance, is like, I will save you guys from the menace that is Spider-Man. Meet me at this time. Bring your cameras, essentially.
And then he says to J. Jonah Jameson, "Don't drop the ball."
Yeah. He lets his head bounce off and turns into a basketball.
He's like, "Don't drop the ball." And it's like, "Oh,
This is good shit."
Mysterio had some of the greatest lines during this episode.
Can we talk about what Mysterio sounds like?
Yeah. Do you think you could pull off? How would you describe it?
I would describe it. The first time around, we don't get as much General Grievous, but the second time, it is General Grievous, just, just like
Genuinely impossible to understand without like subtitles. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what this bitch saying.
Yeah, it was fucking great though. It was different because we had just seen, our Spider-Man, what Jake Gyllenhaal was Mysterio.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Very different.
Very different. Still, got a flair for the dramatics, which we love that.
But less like whiny man-child and more just angry.
More angry man-child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have there's like this middle point where like Peter's on the bus and he hears a report of Spider-Man stealing more stuff. So they go to that. He's at the mall. There's a whole showdown at the mall where he's using like illusions and tricks and shit.
And Spider-Man is realizing his spider sense is not going on, so he knows that these are illusions. He doesn't understand what it's happening, but he knows that Mysterio's not actually there, which is more than a lot of people know because his spider sense isn't going off.
His little spidey senses.
His spidey senses.
But there's this whole thing. He's like, hey, we have a past. I got beef with you. Figure out the story. Follow the yellow brick road because, God damn it, why not? Like, this little bitch, man. Dramatics, always to the top.
He works in movies.
Yes.
What can we say?
Yeah. He has a ponytail and he works in movies. So,
And that's Mysterio.
Mysterio leads him to that bridge where there's the showdown. All the reporters are there. They have a little battle. He like throws rocks at him or the building. I don't know what the fuck. Something knocks him off into the water.
Something happens where Mysterio and Spider-Man are fighting and Spider-Man falls into the water.
But there's like those glowy things. He throws like glowy things around him, but we don't know really where they're coming
there's
from.
just kind of
Fireflies.
It's supposed to be just special effects. So somehow these special effects have become 3D and tangible.
And whatever it is affecting Peter's or Spider-Man's spider sense. So it's like setting him off like crazy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know why. And so then he falls into the water.
He could easily use his webs.
There's a lot of things he could have used. He kind of just shows up as a man.
Yeah.
Like, just like a person first introduced to magic. Like, just like mind blown, accepting whatever happens to him.
I can't defeat this. I just accept my fate.
Oh no, I must go down.
So he ends up in the water. The cops are looking for him, and they're like, "No person can hold their breath for 10 seconds. Let's get out of here."
We flew out around 4 helicopters for, a minute or two back to back. They had 4 helicopters and they went in the same 2 feet here in
The
space.
resources used in one specific spot was insane.
Yes.
At the point where I was like, they wouldn't do that, but also, yeah, they would.
They totally would.
Absolutely. Would just stay in one little area, 4 helicopters, all looking for 10 seconds. And
He
saying,
can't possibly swim away. He has to pop up right there.
right there. Also, nobody could hold their breath that long. So,
He's a superhero. He has webs coming out of his hands, but no, it's impossible.
he's spider powers, not water powers. So they dip. They're like, hey, everyone, Spider-Man dead. Mysterio saved us. This is our new hero, R.I.P. Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, like, we see him pop up out of the water. I think he just, like, goes home after that shit.
He pops out of the water with, like, we've seen Spider-Bag twice now. There's a spider sack that the Mysterio one used as, like, what he put all of his little balls in from the museum. We get a second spider sack that apparently... Air sack? Yeah. A spider air sack that has helped Spider-Man breathe underwater, which I don't understand quite how that works.
Don't worry about
I
it.
think he made it like above water, captured some air and brought it down. But then he was just bringing in his own carbon monoxide at some point. So
yeah. There was a lot of questions, but I was like, okay, I will accept this.
He said he wants a snorkel. Don't worry about it.
He says, yeah, when he gets his next paycheck, he's getting a snorkel, which is great. Okay, good job, Peter. You got priorities. You're going to learn how to,
You're going to carry around a fucking snorkel with you every time you have your spider suit
Great
on.
job. You're so smart, Peter.
He's just scuba Spider-Man.
He's Uber spider.
So yeah, he pops up, he goes home, Mary J calls him and is like, are you ready for our date? And he's like, aw, fuck, forgot about that shit. And she's like, well, you blew it, my dude. You get one shot at me and then I'm out skis. He throws a little fit. He's like, nobody even likes Spider-Man. You're no good for me. I'm gonna throw he throws his little costume in the closet and he's like, I'm giving up being Spider-Man. And then the doorbell rings. It's the detective, and she's like, hey, I need your help, photographer who follows around Spider-Man. You're the only person who could help me with this. I believe Spider-Man's still out there because obviously he is, guys. Everyone should know that, but they don't. So she's like, you gotta help me look. And he's like, nah, I don't give a fuck. And she's like, why don't you stop being a little bitch? And he's like, okay, cool, I will.
You're right.
Well, he has to have a full transformation moment where she's like, you gotta step up and like be a part of this. And then he's like, there's one time I didn't. I betrayed my
We get the full backstory. We even learned about wrestling. Like, did they need to include the scene of him in the ring? No. How he made his costume to hide his identity? No. We could have just seen him let a criminal go.
Yeah, no, but we needed all of it.
We got the whole Uncle Ben death story. With great power comes great responsibility. We get all of that.
God.
I really love that half of what Peter says is inner dialogue and half of it is actual dialogue for everyone to hear. But you can't tell which is fucking which when he's Spider-Man. And it's just always a mystery of, are they hearing this or is it his head?
When the cops walk by and he's like, I'm just a wrestler. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?
Hey.
But yeah, we get to see him and he was like, there was a time I should have stepped in and that was the death of my uncle. I was like, fuck, dude. It's probably the best flashback we will get this whole season, so we must enjoy it. Excuse us, we stepped into a dog pound. I'm just bringing an extra atmosphere for everyone here.
Release the dogs.
Oh man.
Sounds like we're in a rescue. And they all want our love.
Who rescued Hugh? Who we have 20 dogs here. Like Spider-Man, we stepped up to the responsibility to save hundreds of dogs. But yeah, so ever since that he comes back to it, and he's like, yeah, I do gotta help. And then I think he just goes to like catch up with Mysterio.
He goes with
they go to the police station.
Yeah. And then they find out he's like, I know this guy. I know him from the bridge.
Personal.
It's personal. And he tries to piece together everything that Mysterio has said to him in order to figure out what part of his past that he was in, to figure out who he is.
And she pulls up like police reports.
She like starts typing on the computer.
She's like, bridge incident.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Truly, nowadays on our computers makes complete sense. I was like, you could easily find this and like all this kind of data. Back then, I don't know.
They were still using paper files. Let's be real. She would have been opening a filing cabinet and digging through. Yeah.
They filed it under bridge, I think. Let me see.
Helicopter.
But yeah, we see there was a movie set or a filming thing on a bridge.
They were filming on a bridge.
Yeah. And there was it was a big pyrotechnic thing. They were having explosions on the bridge. And the explosions got too real. It took off a blade on the helicopter that they were on. Almost killed the dude. Did kill the dude.
Almost killed the dude, but Spider-Man saved him. And he was able to catch the person who rigged all of the fire explosives incorrectly.
Yeah, and he wanted to make them bigger. He found one that didn't go off, though, I think.
Yeah, he wanted a big explosion, and he found like the little bomb on the bridge. And he was like, whoa, guys, it's this dude. He's trying to straight up murder. And then they reveal him. We see that he does have a ponytail. Also, this is Mysterio now.
His name is Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck is the person that he's like, oh, yes, I know this guy. And she's like, it is Quentin Beck in her computer. And Quentin Beck lives, and then they're like, okay, where does he live? He lives in Wonder Studios, obviously.
He's just, hanging out there forever.
If you work in fucking show business, you stay in show business, and you live
sleep in the
studio.
basement somewhere. Like you have no choice.
He's fucking committed to his craft. So Spider-Man goes there. He also calls the reporters because again,
no, he doesn't call the reporter. Mysterio pretends to be Spider-Man and says, "Meet me at Wonder Studio," because
he fooled me.
He fooled you. And he says, meet me at Wonder Studios to see Spider-Man and Mysterio face off or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to get J. Jonah Jameson and the detective to Wonder Studios. So we have everyone coming together in Wonder Studios. And Spider-Man gets there first. And he sees these holograms.
Yeah, he sees like
Little like blocks.
Light years ahead of their time.
Yeah.
so far ahead.
There's quote unquote small, portable. And there's a whole lot of brains in that fishbowl is what Spider-Man said.
God damn it.
Referring to Mysterio.
God damn it.
Earlier, he thought there was a lot of gravel, so that's an improvement.
Yeah, but he continues to say it's a fishbowl, which it does look like a fishbowl, so fair.
But yeah, there's like robots and shit that he has. They have a showdown. He sends all these little characters after them. Just a weird mix of individuals.
Weird mix of monsters and holograms, not sure which one's which.
Yeah.
And then that's when a bag comes in with J. Jonah Jameson and a detective in it. Just to be like, I've got them, like
Dangling above you.
Dangling above you. Like, if you do anything wrong, I'm gonna drop them on these like spears, spikes.
They
things.
have he gets captured in a spider web, and there's like a little robot spider coming after him,
Yeah.
and that's when they bring in Jameson and the detective, because why not? Let's fucking kill these people too.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you don't have to kill these guys. And he's like, nah, my therapist tried to talk to me about this too, and I said, fuck it. So here's these people. We're gonna kill them all. Spider-Man, I don't know, defeats him, does something.
He flings his web, but he makes the detective catch it and loop it around the crane that's holding
Yeah.
him. Not like fucking sticks it on the crane and pulls himself up.
Yep.
He makes her tie it.
Hell
It's
yeah.
so wild. That
Hell
whole
yeah.
moment was so wild. I was like, what?
He's like trapped in this spider web, can't get out. He's helpless and can't even use his own resources.
Yeah.
It's
This little bitch, man, honestly. Yeah, so he saves him. I don't know. He like shows Mysterio like who he is. It's all reported. Everybody knows Mysterio's the bad guy now. That's a wrap on them. We then cut to the next day, and Peter's just like sitting at a tree. MJ comes up to him, and she's like, "Hey, remember when I said you get one shot? I lied. Let's go on a date. Also, I'm a bad bitch, and I know physics. I aced my tests.
Yeah, I didn't fucking need your help. I just wanted to fucking hang out with you.
I just wanted to get to know you." But that's where the episode ends. So now we're going to go and move on to our awards. We're going to start off with most 90s thing. Katelynn, what do you got?
I have MJ doing aerobics.
Yeah.
Just to fucking
her costume, like her whole little workout
her
outfit
whole
is-
workout, and then on the fucking phone while doing aerobics felt very 90s to me.
Just like three-way chatting. I was just waiting for somebody else to be brought in. I don't know
Right.
who it would be, but I wanted somebody else brought
Like her
in.
friend, like fucking Gwen Stacy's on the other line. Like,
Yeah.
Just
bitch, you
listening
hear
in.
this?
Can you believe this guy? McKenna, what do you have for most 90s thing?
All right, it's definitely got to be the guy playing on his stereo on public transportation. He's playing his own little stereo
A whole
in his
ass
lap.
boombox?
Out
Yeah.
loud. Yeah.
It's just the most aggravating thing that could ever happen.
And Peter's upset because he turns it off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he switches the station.
He said, let me hear that. McKenna, that's very good. Unfortunately, I have this rule where if anybody matches what I have, they win. And I also put jazzercising. So
Well,
I am
fuck
going to
you.
give
It
that
was
one
also
to
the car fax machine.
Yeah.
Useless again, good, but it's just wrong in this case. So we now are going to go to best web zinger. What do you have, Books?
Oh, okay. So is this one, and forgive me if I'm wrong, is this have to be said by Spider-Man, or is it just any line?
No, it's loosey-goosey. Anything that...
Loosey goosey. I'm gonna give it to Mysterio because his lines were a lot better than Spider-Man's this
Uh-huh.
episode, and it's when he knocks him off the edge of the bridge with his weird little hologram.
Whatever the
holographic,
fuck
yeah,
they are.
rocks or whatever. And as he's falling, he says, "I always did like a good cliffhanger."
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, he saw
That
a
was fun.
moment and he knew.
He didn't even say like it's fall or anything like that. Like
No,
bringing the pumpkin bitches. Like
just
it's
went
fall.
for
Also, they're
cliffhanger.
not like... Normally you say cliffhanger when you're on a physical cliff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, it
they're
would-
not at cliff. He's also not hanging. He's just straight up
He's
falling.
just, like, dead.
It's all good.
Or maybe let's bridge the gap of our relationship. Something like that. Like
Right.
No, so many options. He went for cliffhanger.
he went for cliffhanger.
Workshop it next time. Katelynn, what do you got?
So I feel like we actually got quite a few web singers in this one, especially compared to the past episodes. And the one that I went with was when Spider-Man was he first gets captured basically by Mysterio, and he's on the spinny table, and he says, "What is this,
Yeah.
Beck? Carnival time? At least I don't have to wait in line."
Honestly, relatable.
Yeah,
That
I was
a
like,
good
"This is
one.
fucking good. This is good shit."
Spider-Man hates lines. For best web zinger, I have when Mary J meets back up with him at the tree, she's like,
Yep.
what do Spider-Man and I have in common? And he says, you both look good in skin-tight clothes. Fucking crazy thing to say.
Fucking insane. I almost went with that one too.
Fucking insane to throw in a kid's
blocked that one out because of how uncomfortable, because he's talking about himself.
Yeah.
I think it's like mentally blocked. He's like, I look fucking great in spandex too.
If only you knew the power that we both have to look good in skin-tight clothes.
Oh my god.
Insane to throw in this cartoon. Unfortunately, guys, just because it's unhinged, it's gonna seem unfair. I'm gonna give that point to me, though. I've earned it.
I have honorable mentions after this, actually, from this episode.
I actually found one that I was supposed to say instead of mine, so I'd love to share it,
what
which
was
is
it?
when he gets eaten by the first little mechanical thing.
Oh,
He
this is
says,
mine
well,
too.
that's Hollywood for you. Rough exterior, but underneath a heart of aluminum.
Yep, that's
I just missed it in
exactly
my notes.
what I have too.
I loved it.
It was a very good one.
You know what? Since you guys both have the same bonus one, I'll give you guys both a point for that. There's no nuts here. We can do whatever we want.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I also have another one when he is climbing up the bridge and he's about to get thrown off by Mysterio. He says, you turned everyone against me. What's next? The peasants with torches?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah. Fucking call all these people peasants. I love
So
that.
These people that I save on the
These
daily.
people, these fucking peasants.
This
God
is what I
damn
really
it.
think of them. Fucking peasants.
We truly get to see what an asshole Spider-Man is.
Genuinely, each episode, I'm like, so this is like the level of asshole we're dealing with, right? And the next episode, bigger
He's
bigger
such a
asshole.
fucking man-child asshole.
Our next award is going to be Kung Fu Grip, aka Best Use of Power. Caitlin, what do you got?
I have holograms.
In the 90s, the power of holograms.
Oh,
in the
holograms.
90s.
They're small, portable. God, you see them? They did so many
And
things.
honestly, way more realistic looking than they are now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these things are like truly
They
like
just blend with all of the rest of, the world around them.
And
Yeah.
we're in a world that doesn't have holograms all the time either. So they're like, whoa.
yeah. Yeah.
So holograms were fucking killing it.
True magic for these people. McKenna, what do you got?
All right, so I was a little underwhelmed. I don't watch this show regularly. I was a little underwhelmed with some of the fight scenes, so
Yeah.
I went with a lack of kung fu grip, and it's just Spider-Man flopping, because that was a lot more entertaining to me. And it's when he does the gymnastics bar flip in the mall, and he lands on the bench, but he lands on it at an angle, so it like just knocks him over and lands on top of him.
Beautiful.
And he could have had a perfect little projectile to throw at Mysterio then, but instead he throws it at the crowds of pedestrians. I just loved it all.
Yeah, it is a rough episode to come into to see fighting powers, because he literally just kind of
Just
stands
ended.
stands as a man in front of Mysterio, like just doesn't do anything. And again, because there's no real fighting here from him. For best use of power, I have the power of swinging on a ceiling fan when you're excited.
Yes, I almost
Okay,
did this
that
one
was
too. I was gonna be because he jumps up on the ceiling fan out of excitement, and I was like, "Wow, that fan's super strong,
So strong.
was my
so
first
strong."
thought.
And then it does break, and I'm like, "Okay, good."
But it held him for a hot second.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
impressive.
A full-grown man.
Also, when you were a kid and you imagined hanging from the ceiling fan, it was never like this fucker did it.
No, it was swinging around. It became a ride. This dude was like monkey gripping it.
Yeah, like I always imagined just like grabbing two ceiling fans or one, just like with my hands and like hanging, you know?
Yeah.
He goes full body on that bitch. Like he's elbow around a fan.
He has super grip, but he needs to just wrap his whole torso around.
Yeah, he could be doing it by a couple of fingers.
He looks like a sloth the way that he's on it. It's insane. He's wrapped all around it.
He's also like weirdly between ceiling and the top of the fan.
Yeah.
Like that fan is low. Like
Yeah.
it could fit a full man in between.
And he jumps up on the ceiling fan after he gets a date with MJ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how he celebrates
Yeah.
that. 'Cause why not? So guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna give that one to me because ceiling fan.
Ceiling fans is a good one.
Our next one is I'm Walking Here, aka Most New York Thing. Books, what do you got for it?
This is that bridge scene again when all the civilians are like watching behind the cops and they have all the parked cars. It's probably hypothetically a dangerous place to be, but they have all stood around just to heckle Spider-Man, and I really, really do think that's New York right there.
It's perfectly New York. As like again, kids and stuff around, like dangerous area, but they said
But
let
they
me
have
roast
to,
this bitch.
yeah, they have to yell at Spider-Man. So
Caitlin, what do you got?
That is actually the exact one that I have. It's people heckling from a bridge. Because that is exactly
embodies-
it's New York.
it is.
and everyone's turned on Spider-Man, who has saved them so many times.
One
So
little
quickly.
incident.
So
No,
quickly.
yeah.
One time, they did not question it. The only person to question it is the detective.
Yeah.
And after some convincing too,
Yeah.
she had to see that the webbing was still there the next day.
She had to, like, let me see if he's right about this shit. For my most New York thing is I have the New York copper detective allowing just a photographer to help out with a whole active investigation. Just seems like New York.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. I don't know. You're here. Let's enjoy. Join me.
Do it.
You seem like a better resource than any of the others that I totally have access to. So
You see what I'm working with. Why don't you, stranger, help me with this? But I think you guys are right. So I'm gonna give you guys both a point for that because it seems very New York to heckle that little bitch. I would love to join them. Our next one is a bonus round. If anybody has it, did you come across any mystery notes that confused you?
Let's see. Actually, all of my notes make sense to me.
mine do too.
I think we've gotten better at watching this show. Like, again, it's
I think this portion was made for the boys.
yeah, yeah.
Who take note with pen and paper.
Pen and paper and are just throwing random shit on their notes.
Yes.
All right, so no bonus points this round, but that is the end of this. I'll go to our totals. McKenna, I'm so sorry, you got 1 point. But it's your first round.
It's fine.
Welcome to it. You got a point. Katelynn, we tied with 3
Whoa.
points each. Again, because I gave extra points this time, it's more fun that way.
it is more fun.
I like that.
That is it for the episode, though. We've done it all. We've thoroughly angered the boys, I hope, with covering Ahsoka, but I had a great time doing it. Books, you're welcome anytime to come back. Anytime you want to ruin lives, honestly, just let us know.
That's becoming more and more a regular desire for me. So
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll hear from me again. Yeah.
Perfect. We got some websites for you to check out. You should check out your popfilter.co.
Yep.
That's everything your pop filter lives. You should go there. See what we're all about. If you haven't figured it out yet, that website is gonna help you out. We also we're part of Amazon. We're not a part of them because fuck them, but
Yeah.
we also like money. So if you shop on Amazon and you want to give us a little money, go to amazon.com.
Nope.
Your pop filter.
Nope. Popfilter.co/Amazon.
What? They switched that one?
No, it's been that way for a hot second.
Wow. Wow. I blink out during these. Thank God Caitlin's here. I should have passed the websites over to her, but we're in it now.
I feel like Mike right now.
Yeah.
Does it feel
giving Mike vibes, and
I
I'm
feel
tempted
like
to just
Mike.
shove you
nope,
out the
that's
room.
not the website.
Yeah.
Know the fucked up
Nope.
ways I've made these.
Nope.
So that's that one. Go there. Also cybersprout.net for all your website needs. We also got another show on the network. Caitlin, can you tell the people about it?
Yeah, it's called Movie of the Year. Movie. And right now they're going through the year 1973. And
Yeah,
they can't tell me
sure.
that's wrong.
Yeah, it sounds great.
So they're 1973 and they're talking about all the top movies in 1973 and they're getting down to see which one is going to be best.
Mhm.
And they do that not in order. So next year won't be 1974.
No, who knows what it'll be?
Who
Could
knows?
be any year.
And that's what makes that podcast fun. And they talk about all the fun stuff about each one of these movies, but also they get really smart about it.
yeah, they
bring out-
know
Yeah.
film.
They reference other directors that like have only directed like 1 or 2 big movies, and then they just expect everyone to know.
Yeah, they just throw it out like this is common knowledge.
Yeah.
They use big brain energy over there on Movie of the Year. So if you want some big brain energy, I would go check out that podcast.
Check that one out.
Woo.
We're also on social media. Your Pop Filter on Instagram.
Yep.
Go ahead, check it out. We're also on Blue Ski, but honestly, don't go there. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Don't do it. We got
Is that where the poop tweets go?
That's where they should be going. RIP to the poop tweets. They have no home, but they should be on Blue Ski. We'll talk to our social media manager about that. We have an email. It's contact at
Popfilter.co.
popfilter.co. Contact at popfilter.co.
It's okay. It's not like you have to hear or say this every week. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way you
by
practice
this point,
this.
I'm not even a human anymore once I reach this point. I'm fully out. But yes, we are going to need your emails. The 500th episode is coming up. It's going to be all emails. You can send us literally anything you want. We will answer it. Anything that comes to your mind, send it that way. And we will be spending the whole time answering emails. Next week, you guys, Caitlin,
Yep.
we're going to be covering One Piece.
Oh my god.
They're forcing us to do it. The dicks are back. The testicles are back. And they said, watch One Piece. So we'll finally check in with that and see how we feel about it. So be sure to catch that one. That is it for this week, though. For Caitlin, I am me. For books, I am me. For Ryan and Mike, they have no testicles. Bye.